revenge! Oh! Whatever I want, I have to get!
The Homeland Security raids targeting Diddy's homes might mark the beginning of the end for one of the most notorious moguls in hip-hop history. On March 25th, the world was completely stunned by images of two armed federal agents ransacking two mansions belonging to none other than Sean Diddy Combs. These agents were conducting twin bi-coastal raids as a part of a sweeping Homeland Security investigation into sex trafficking allegations. And boy, they did not come to play. To a lot of people out there, the news was pretty jaw-dropping. For years, Diddy has been celebrated as the pinnacle of success in the rap game. He's a billionaire whose empire has spanned music, fashion, and TV. But now, we may be watching the fall of that very same empire in real time. Now, we covered the first part of this story a couple episodes back when we went into the bombshell allegations that Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie made against him in a lawsuit she filed last November. But now what I want to do is take things even further. There's so many unanswered questions about Diddy's alleged behavior to the point that people are referring to him as a supervillain called the Diddler. Which is low-key wild because who remembers when Diddy dressed up as a Joker and menaced celebrities in LA? Turns out he wasn't playing a character, and this man is about that life for real. So what do we know about the Department of Homeland Security's investigation into Diddy? And what can the numerous lawsuits and allegations against Diddy's behavior tell us about what's really going on behind the scenes? And what about the many celebrities in Diddy's inner circle? How many of them might be involved in all of this? Finally, we're gonna take a closer look at Diddy's complicated, dark legacy in hip-hop. For literally decades, he's been one of the rap game's biggest tastemakers. So do all these allegations mean we have to second-guess everything he's accomplished? So let's start at the beginning. How did Diddy become one of the most fearsome and successful characters in the music industry? Throughout his career, Sean Combs has gone by many names: Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, and most recently, Brother Love. One thing has remained consistent though. He's one of the most relentless hustlers in the game by far. Going from being an altar boy in his youth to throwing extravagant parties, Diddy was always about the next big thing. But his biggest come up, no pun intended, came when Diddy signed Christopher Wallace, aka the Notorious B.I.G. to his record label, Bad Boy Records.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me.
Biggie Smalls would go on to become a mainstream superstar until he was murdered in 1997. In the aftermath of Biggie's death, Diddy had a decision to make. He had just lost his most successful artist, so should he double down on the label or just throw in the towel? Diddy responded by releasing his very own debut album as a recording artist, No Way Out. The album was a blockbuster, Grammy-winning success. It took Diddy from being a record executive to a bona fide celebrity. He charted out an ambitious expansion into every business venture imaginable. He acted in movies, TV, and Broadway shows. He launched his own clothing label, starred in his own reality TV show, and even co-founded a whole TV network. His albums continued to top the charts, and he became a celebrated businessman with an estimated net worth topping $1 billion. Diddy, more than anyone else in rap, is credited with commercializing hip-hop in a way that was never seen before. But it turns out all that success had masked a deep well of scandals that plagued Diddy throughout his entire career. Way back in 1991, before Diddy had his own record label, he promoted an AIDS fundraiser at the City College of New York. The problem was the event sold way too many tickets, leading to overcrowding and a fatal stampede that killed 9 people. Years later in 1999, at the height of his celebrity, Diddy was embroiled in a high-profile trial involving a shooting in a Times Square nightclub. A woman was permanently disfigured in the shootout, leading to Diddy being arrested and hit with multiple gun charges. While Diddy was eventually acquitted, his protege, a young rapper named Shine, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But that exoneration didn't stop the rumors that Diddy threw his protege under the bus in order to secure freedom for himself. There's also been allegations made by Keefe D, the gang member recently charged in Tupac's murder, that Diddy offered him $1 million to shoot both Pac and Diddy's longtime nemesis, Suge Knight. More recently though, there's been an avalanche of lawsuits that have made some extremely disturbing allegations about Sean Combs' behavior. The details in these lawsuits are often graphic and very explicit, and some of them come from people who have been very close to Diddy's inner circle. It paints a picture of a decadent, dark lifestyle, claiming that Diddy frequently abused drugs and maintains a sophisticated network of surveillance. The lawsuit even claims that Diddy bragged about getting away with the Times Square shooting from 1999 and potentially links him to a bombing that targeted Kid Cudi's car. But since Diddy settled Cassie's multi-million-dollar lawsuit, there's been a slew of other accusations from other parties. These include allegations of assault, witness intimidation, and many claims of sexual misconduct. Diddy responded by calling all these lawsuits an attempt to assassinate his character. On February of 2024, another lawsuit was filed, this one by a music producer named Lil Rod. Lil Rod's lawsuit contains tons of screenshots and photos to back up his claims. He's accused Diddy of forcing him into sex acts and drugging him, while also making claims that Diddy covered up a shooting and parties with underage girls.
Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him.
But the moment that really opened the floodgates is when the feds showed up at Diddy's house to gather evidence in what we've since learned is a major criminal investigation. But what is this investigation even about in the first place? In late March, two of Diddy's multi-million-dollar mansions, one in LA and the other in Miami, were targeted by federal authorities in a massive show of force. News footage of the raids quickly lit up social media, and during the raids, Diddy's sons Christian King Combs and Justin Combs were both cuffed and detained in LA at gunpoint. But news reports have since indicated that this is all part of an investigation into sex trafficking. The investigation seemingly started in New York, and reports suggested that witnesses, including Cassie Ventura, have already spoken to federal agents. In the aftermath of the raids, footage surfaced of Diddy's LA mansion in complete disarray. Agents had apparently ripped through the house, confiscating hard drives and searching high and low for evidence. Sources inside Homeland Security have suggested that these raids are just the tip of the iceberg, and that the probe into Diddy will only get wider in coming days. TMZ posted up footage of Diddy pacing relentlessly outside the customs office, looking extra stressed as the feds were questioning his party. One of his associates, a former Syracuse University basketball player named Brendan Paul, was arrested for cocaine possession and had previously been identified as Diddy's designated drug mule. It's abundantly clear that the feds are confident enough that they're gonna go after Diddy in the most relentless and confrontational way possible. Naturally, after the raids popped off, the reactions started flowing in. Aaron Dyer, Diddy's attorney, expressed outrage, calling the raids a gross overuse of military-level force, a witch hunt, and an unprecedented ambush. Misa Hilton, the mother of Diddy's son, Justin Combs, echoed the statement, claiming that the raids were an attempt to humiliate and terrorize. Diddy himself has been trying to put on an unbothered face in public. He popped up at the Miami Topgolf with his twin teenage daughters and smiled for the cameras. Experts have speculated he's trying to look calm in a crisis while his lawyers figure everything out. But across the rap game, people are choosing sides. Some of Diddy's longtime enemies look like they're celebrating his seemingly imminent downfall, while others are rushing to his defense. Joe Budden seems to think it's the beginning of the end. He got on his podcast to declare it's a wrap, and even seemed to suggest that Diddy's situation will only get worse.
Not only is this a wrap, this is about to get much worse.
I agree. It is.
This is about to get bad, 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 bad.
Suge Knight, who has been Diddy's #1 enemy since the 90s, even spoke out while in prison, claiming that Diddy's life is in danger and alluding to conspiracy theories that Diddy knows secrets for many high-level players.
I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets. So, you know they're gonna get you if they can.
But maybe the most outspoken person in all this is none other than 50 Cent, who has openly mocked Diddy for years. 50 has promised to make a documentary about Diddy's alleged crimes and is unmistakably excited as hell to see Diddy go down in flames. Meanwhile, other artists like Slim Thug have rallied to Diddy's side, criticizing those trying to take down a billionaire over allegations without criminal charges. Then again, artists who are usually very vocal, like Fat Joe and Ja Rule, have just responded with a boilerplate no comment when they've been asked about what the raid might mean for Diddy. With a 3-decade run in the rap game, Diddy has a lot of friends in high places. But the fallouts with these lawsuits and the Fed's investigation has begun to have a serious domino effect. Even though Diddy earned a Grammy nom this year for his latest album, he declined to attend the ceremony. Sources say multiple artists refused to sit next to Diddy on Grammy night, and he decided to save face by avoiding the ceremony altogether. Macy's announced they were ending their long-running partnership with Diddy's clothing label, Sean John, and Diddy even took a leave of absence from his network Revolt TV. After all, multiple lawsuits against Diddy allege that he records everything, and there's no shortage of famous people who have attended his parties. And now that the Feds have possession of his hard drives, who knows who they have footage of? Lil Rod's lawsuit name drops Prince Harry as an associate of Diddy's, and even alleges a sexual assault at the hands of Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. Both Usher and Meek Mill were referenced in that same suit, and reports have surfaced that none other than Ashton Kutcher is scared of being drawn into the investigation. The pileup of accusations have meant a lot of scrutiny on Diddy's legacy and the many collaborators who have called him a friend over the years. We have to keep in mind that there haven't been any criminal charges filed against Diddy yet. And while fans started to look back at years and years of old interviews and statements about Diddy's notoriously wild parties, it doesn't necessarily mean anyone's gonna get charged over it. At the same time, I can guarantee you that the rap game will never be the same. Fans are already openly guessing about who may have known or who may have been involved in some of these alleged crimes. A federal investigation like this might not only expose other artists, but it'll also force a lot of fans to take a step back and reappraise Diddy's accomplishments. So not only are we gonna stay tuned as it develops, but we're gonna continue to explore all the many ramifications of this investigation. So all there is to say now is buckle up, because this is gonna be a messy one.